residence here, yeah.
It was fine for me. Like, yeah, I'm a native New Yorker.
In a universe of stars, few shine across galaxies. Zoe Saldana isn't just a Hollywood actress. She's the heartbeat of entire worlds. From the neon corridors of Star Trek to the bioluminescent jungles of Avatar, to the cosmic chaos of Guardians of the Galaxy, her face, her voice, her spirit have become part of our collective imagination. But behind the blue skin and the green warrior paint lies a woman who once dreamed not of fame, but of ballet. A girl from Queens, New York, who faced loss, identity, and doubt long before the cameras found her. So how did Zoe Saldana, a dancer from a Dominican family, become the symbol of strength, grace, and diversity across the most powerful franchises in cinema history? This is not just the story of a star. It's the story of a woman who lives in every universe. Zoe Yadira Saldana Nazario was born in 1978 in Passaic, New Jersey, the daughter of a Puerto Rican mother and a Dominican father. She grew up in Queens, New York, in a home filled with rhythm and resilience. But when she was only 9, tragedy struck. Her father was killed in a car accident, leaving Zoe, her mother, and her 2 sisters to navigate a world that suddenly felt colder and quieter. Her mother, Asalia, worked tirelessly to keep the family afloat, reminding Zoe that strength isn't about what you have, but what you keep fighting for. Seeking comfort and discipline, Zoe turned to dance. She studied ballet with a fierce devotion, her movements telling stories her heart couldn't yet speak. But ballet, as she would later say, demanded a perfection that didn't fit her growing sense of identity. At 10, her family moved to the Dominican Republic. There, surrounded by heat, color, and culture, Zoe found balance again, rediscovering herself through art, rhythm, and heritage. It was in those years that she learned to stand tall, even when the stage seemed too small. A lesson that would follow her to every galaxy she'd one day call home. When Zoe returned to New York in her late teens, she carried with her the grace of a dancer and the hunger of someone who had seen both loss and rebirth. She joined a youth theater group called Faces, a company that used performance to confront social issues like race, gender, and identity. On that stage, Zoe discovered something deeper than choreography. She discovered storytelling. Her precision from ballet fused with her natural emotional intensity. Casting agents began to take notice. In 1999, she landed a small role on Law and Order, her first appearance on screen. It was brief, but it was enough. The next year, she made her film debut in Center Stage, 2000, playing a tough, defiant dancer who refused to conform, a role that felt uncannily close to her real self. Critics saw the fire. Hollywood, for the first time, saw Zoe Saldana. But her rise wasn't meteoric. Not yet. She worked through small parts, unglamorous roles, and countless rejections. Still, she showed up. Every audition, every set, every chance. In a city that often forgot names overnight, she built a presence that could not be ignored. And soon, her perseverance would lead her from New York rehearsal halls to the deck of a pirate ship, and the first taste of cinematic adventure that would define her future. Hollywood didn't know it yet, but Zoe Saldana was about to redefine what a blockbuster heroine could look like. In 2003, she appeared in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. It was a small role, but on that chaotic pirate ship, Zoe's frustration was real, not with acting, but with the industry. She later admitted she almost walked away, tired of being unseen, unheard, typecast. Then, everything changed. In 2009, 2 worlds collided, and Zoe stood at the center of both. As Nyota Uhura in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, she embodied intelligence, poise, and power. A woman of color commanding the bridge of the Enterprise. That same year, James Cameron cast her as Neytiri in Avatar, the blue-skinned warrior whose soul was pure fire and tenderness. Avatar became a phenomenon, the highest-grossing film in history. And through the motion capture suit and digital layers, it was Zoe's movement, her eyes, her vulnerability that made Neytiri real. She wasn't just performing, She was breathing life into pixels. Then came Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014. As Gamora, the green assassin with a broken heart, Zoe added yet another universe to her legacy. The woman who once feared being typecast now lived in three of the most powerful franchises in cinema: Star Trek, Avatar, and Marvel. She became a symbol of strength, diversity, and resilience, proof that a Latina, Afro-Dominican actress could not only survive in Hollywood's system, but dominate it. By 2023, her films had earned more than $14 billion worldwide, more than any other actress in history. Zoe Saldana had done the impossible. She didn't just conquer Hollywood, she conquered entire galaxies. For every star that burns bright, there is always a shadow. As Zoe Saldana's fame grew across galaxies, so did the weight she carried. Hollywood celebrated her success, but also questioned it. Many critics accused her of being too ambiguous, too safe, or too digital, as if her real self was lost behind blue and green skin. In 2016, she faced her most painful controversy. Zoe was cast to portray jazz legend Nina Simone in Nina. But when early images surfaced, showing Zoe in dark makeup and a prosthetic nose, backlash erupted. Fans, activists, even Nina Simone's own estate condemned the casting. Nina deserved better, they said. Zoe was heartbroken. She believed she had honored Nina's legacy through passion and respect, but her performance became a lightning rod in conversations about race, identity, and representation. Years later, she admitted through tears, "I should have never played her. I thought I was right, but I wasn't." It wasn't just the criticism. It was the exhaustion. Years of motion capture suits, global press tours, and industry politics left her drained. She began to speak openly about burnout, loneliness, and the difficulty of balancing fame with motherhood. After giving birth to twin boys in 2014, Zoe found herself facing an invisible battle: postpartum depression, and the constant fear of losing herself amid the chaos of celebrity life. She confessed, "I had to rebuild myself, piece by piece." For the first time, the woman who had conquered galaxies needed to come back down to earth, to rediscover Zoe, not the warrior, not the icon, but the human being behind it all. From the silence of burnout came something new: clarity. Zoe Saldana began choosing her battles, and her art, with more intention. She stopped chasing every galaxy and started exploring the one within. In 2022, she starred in From Scratch, a tender Netflix series about love, grief, and resilience. The role wasn't wrapped in special effects or alien worlds. It was human, raw, and painfully real. Audiences saw a different Zoe. Softer, more grounded, yet still radiating quiet power. Then came her return to Pandora. Avatar, The Way of Water, 2022, reminded the world why her performances transcend makeup and motion capture. Every tear, every movement was unmistakably hers. Neytiri was no longer just a character. She was a reflection of Zoe's own evolution. Off-screen, she stepped into a new identity: producer, advocate, and mother. Through her company Sinistar Pictures, founded with her sisters, Zoe began creating opportunities for women and people of color behind the camera, rewriting the Hollywood she once had to fight to enter. She spoke openly about balance, mental health, and the power of saying no. Her reinvention wasn't about becoming someone new. It was about finally being herself. Because for Zoe Saldana, survival was never enough. Rebirth was always the goal. Zoe Saldana's story is not just one of fame, it's one of endurance. She broke barriers without shouting, changed narratives without preaching, and brought humanity to worlds that didn't even exist. Across Avatar, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Star Trek, she became more than a performer. She became a bridge between cultures, genres, and generations. Her characters, fierce yet fragile, alien yet profoundly human, reminded audiences that strength isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Today, Zoe stands as one of the most successful actresses in film history. Yet she speaks most proudly about her roots, her family, and the women who will follow. She has proven that identity is not a limitation, but a universe of possibility. Zoe Saldana didn't just act in galaxies far away. She built them, piece by piece, with discipline, grace, and soul. The journey of Zoe Saldana is proof that no matter where you begin, your story can reach the stars, and maybe, just maybe, every universe will remember your name.